This week on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. What it is that it's actual flesh. It's actual grown chicken that is grown in a laboratory. Who's ready to eat lab-grown chicken? All right, so I was watching CNN the other day, and there was a segment that came on saying that the USDA has just approved two companies to sell lab-grown chicken. And I didn't really think too much of it. And then some people started like DMing me. And then one of them were my friends, and she said this. She's like, never mind about the 5 rich people at sea. Did you effing see that the USDA approved to sell lab-grown meat? And then she sent me a screenshot that says, 2 companies, Upside Foods and Good Meat, said on Wednesday they have received final U.S. Department of Agriculture approval, which is the USDA, approval to sell lab-grown meat. She goes on to say, the media right now is only covering the 5 people at sea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But why isn't there news or media coverage for the fact that billions of people will be consuming lab-grown meat? This ish is what we're going to be eating and consuming in our bodies. Think about that for a second, Trent. Anyway, so whatever, I didn't really think anything of it. And then I ran into her at the club, and she was like, yo, you really need to do a podcast on this lab-grown meat. You need to bring attention to it. This is crazy how that, and it didn't process in my head. When I first heard about it, I thought it was another thing like a Beyond Meat, or it was like another, like a tofu. And I'm like, what's the difference between the Beyond Meat burgers and you have like the Slutty Vegan that's all over the US? Kevin Hart has a fast food chain that's vegan. So I thought it was a vegan alternative. I was completely wrong. So what it is that it's actual flesh. It's actual grown chicken that is grown in a laboratory. And they're not growing the chickens. They're growing just the meat that you're going to be consuming. So that's probably why it's more alarming to people, because they feel like this is the start of the end. You know what I mean? Of like us having like real chickens and animals that's running around, and everything is going to be produced in a lab. Anyway, so whatever, I went and did some research, and this is what I found.
So cultivated meat is meat. Like I said, it's not a meat alternative. It's meat that's grown from real animal cells. So what we do is we take really high quality animal cells from, let's say, a cow or a pig or a chicken or a lobster, and we look for cells that can continue to grow outside the animal in a very robust and a healthy way.
Okay, so you see what he's saying, that it's like, from live animal cells. So it is from an animal technically, but the cells are taken, the good cells are taken, and then they're growing like the actual chicken breast in a laboratory. And one of the biggest promoters of it, or the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the biggest, things, whatever. One of the biggest benefits is that they're saying is that, you're not slaughtering animals anymore. So that PETA thing and people who are vegan or whatever. So it's slaughter-free animals, but also it's supposed to help climate change, because the gas that's emitted from us consuming animals and cows and et cetera, it's harming the planet. So this is an alternative to, the gases and the mass production that goes on for us to be able to consume our meats. So those are the 2 big selling points. So my take is, and of course there's also like some nutritional factors, because they could put in what's better for you and what's good for you versus, a chicken. There's a lot of good components in chicken, but there's obviously some bad. So they're also obviously will take that out of the lab-grown chicken, so that it's actually, the highest quality and the most nutrients, etc. So those are the 3 factors. So my opinion is like, it's always the same when it comes to anything that's new. And I think, what are people going to say 200, 300, or 400 years from now? I literally think that. And I just think that, like, when cars came about, it was like, oh my gosh, they're building a car, you sit in it and you drive somewhere. Like, whatever happened to walking? No, thanks, not for me. Or planes. You think when the first plane was invented, people were like, yeah, shoot, I'm just gonna go and sit in this, metal tin, and it's gonna take me in the air and fly me somewhere else. I'm sure people were like, yeah, no, I'm not down for that. So, and it's just like present day now, AI, where everyone's like freaking out about it. So I just think that anything new, humans instinctivly are like, we don't trust the government. We don't know what's going on. I want everything, whatever, etc. And I'm a naturalist. Like, I don't even like taking pills. I don't like taking medication. So no, I don't like things that are overproduced. Like even in the grocery store, they say to walk on the outer aisles because that's where all the natural products are, right? Fruits, vegetables, and etc. So I don't eat a lot of canned or tin stuff or whatever, or produced things. So I am not going to necessarily gravitate and run towards the lab grown chicken. However, I think that's just going to be our reality one day, and I don't think it's going to bother me. And it's not like there's some guy growing something in his backyard, and whether you trust the government or not, like there has to have been extensive years upon years upon years of testing and to make sure that it's obviously good for us and natural. And of course, it's obviously going to take years and years for the science to iron itself out. And that's why they're rolling it out slowly, right? It's going to be available in 2 restaurants. People will consume it, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm always trying to be welcoming to any sort of new technology or any sort of new nuance that comes into the world. And I just feel that there'll come a time where, the population grows so big that we won't be able to have enough natural products to feed us. And I'm sure as we go on, we'll see, what I actually think is that, like I said, 50, 100 years from now, they're going to be like, yo, could you imagine they actually took a wild chicken that is running around on the street, crapping over itself, living in a hen house, and they plucked it, they would kill it, and they would eat it live, and they wondered why they died at 70 years old. And these people that are eating all lab-grown food, they're going to live till 100, 200 years old, and they're going to look at us and being like, you guys are the idiots for eating, real animals with blood flowing through it, etc. Because, a lot of red meat, especially red meat, is the reason for cancer and all of, a lot of our diseases, right? And it's, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's most of us are sick, or most of our illnesses are due to the things that we're eating. So that's my take. Who knows if I'm right or wrong or whatever, but just know that technology is always going to advance. Humans are always going to evolve. There's going to be new things. I just feel like I still believe in humanity. I think that we're not going to, cancel ourselves out. There'll be ups and downs, and maybe this will be taken off the market in a couple of years. But, lab-grown products, I think, are a way of the future. So you don't have to freak out so much, all right? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!